Quick Take begins right now.
I think there's going to be a point where we may be forced to join a conference.
How important is it for you guys to retain your independence?
As long as we can, we will. It's what this football program was built from. And I have a lot of confidence in our administration and Pete Bavacqua, our AD, that he'll always keep us in a position to be successful. So as long as we can keep that independence, we will. But if there ever comes a time that we are at a disadvantage because we're not in a conference, I'm sure he'll make the decision along with our president to say, all right, we're going to join one of these conferences.
What is the biggest threat that you would see to that? You know, like where would a disadvantage pop up?
Well, I think if you talk about being at a disadvantage to make the postseason, right, because you're not in the playoffs, or if it comes a time where teams won't schedule you, right, because the Big Ten or the SEC are saying we're going to play 9 games and we'll play a crossover game, and who cares about Notre Dame? Well, then I think there's going to be a point where we may be forced to join a conference. But until that point happens, which it doesn't look likely, we're going to stay independent as long as we can.
College football doesn't need Notre Dame. They don't need them. And there's been a lot of uproar about it. Most people have actually been on the same side that I've been on, saying too bad, so sad. How are you guys complaining that you haven't been invited to the party when you don't even want to be part of the group? You're an independent school. The party is really for SEC, Big Ten, ACC, Pac-12, if there's still a Pac-12, Big 12, Big East, SWAC, and whoever else wants to be a part of that party. That's who the party really is for. The only way the independent gets in is if they have a significant amount of wins and you cannot deny them. And their schedule is obviously up to par, and they've beaten some of the guys who are part of the group. They haven't done that. Sorry, they didn't do that this season. So now based on that, they decide because they weren't invited to the party, they weren't supported by a conference that they are no part of when it comes to football, but everything else, and now they're vexed with them. And for those of you who don't know what vex is, it means upset. That's a term that we use in the Caribbean. But, at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's a business, and the business decision is made, and it's the right decision. I'm not saying this as a Miami fan. If it was anybody else that was in a conference, I would rather put them in than Miami. Miami wants all the perks. They want to be the side chick, or they want to be the engaged. They don't want the marriage. They don't want the marriage, but they want all the perks in the marriage. They want all the perks in the marriage. They want half of this, half of that. They want everything, but they will not accept the ring. It doesn't work like that. This is 2025. Either you sign up and play the rules, accept the provisions, or you sit out. And the best way to get in is 2 ways. You either join a conference or go undefeated all season. Because I'm saying this, and I'm going to say this now. The only way Notre Dame is going to get in to a college football playoffs from here on in is either they join a conference or they win all their games and maybe lose 1. 2 losses now as an independent will not get you in. They are not going to put you in. They're going to put somebody else in that is part of the group. So accept it and move on. This is ridiculous and preposterous on how Miami continues to, not Miami, I keep saying Miami, it's not Miami. Miami is part of the ACC. Notre Dame continues to try to plead their case. It's almost like they want to take this to court. You've been offered opportunities to join conferences the last 5 or 6 years knowing what's happened. This is no longer college sports. College sports has never been just about education. It's always been a business. For most of you that say, oh, it's a business now. No, it hasn't. It's been a business. The stuff that happened under the table is now happening in your face. This has been happening for 40, 50 years. Now the boosters can say hi. The NIL deals are as real as they can get. And players are free agents. Players are free agents. This is free agency and signing. This is a business. The bowl game situation is done and it's dead. It's not going to happen anymore. I don't care about the Cotton Bowl, the Orange Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, the Sunkist Bowl. I never cared about that. I just wanted to watch a good football game. The bowl games are going to disintegrate. Soon you're going to see no bowl games. All you're going to have is a 12-team playoff, and that's it. And I don't even think they should have the other bowl games. The bowl games should be for teams who are trying to recruit, get better, and get ready for next year. If you want to be Notre Dame and the rest of these teams who are just like Kansas State and Iowa, I don't want to play, or Iowa State, I don't want to play, fine, go sit at home. But until you see the benefits of joining a conference, yeah, you want to keep your money. Everybody wants to keep their money. But you didn't start this bowl thing. They did. So if you want to be a part of their group, you follow their rules and you accept their provisions. And that's my quick take on that. And I want to correct myself. This is an extensive edition of Quick Take on, I said Miami at one point in time, but then after I corrected myself on Notre Dame, because Notre Dame is the issue here. Miami is not, obviously. But I also wanted to add something to this. People say it's college sports. They got to stop using college sports. And here's why. And this is a quick take on this. The administration made a decision on this. Would you not go to the players and ask the players? These are the guys that are on the field. These are the guys that are grinding. Notre Dame made a selfish decision. The coach, the administration, Marcus Freeman, yes, Mr. Marcus Freeman, who is a black man. And I guarantee you, Notre Dame's going to use him as an scapegoat when things get really bad. He should be careful on being a part of this. But there's a lot of us as minorities don't understand the significance of some of the decisions we make in sports when it's out in the open, because they will use it as an scapegoat. Marcus Freeman, this is not a good decision. And here's why. You got all these seniors who want that one more game. They need that game, whether it's for personal reasons or just NFL reasons. You don't do that. I believe personally that you go to these players and you ask them as a group, hey, what do you think? Do you want to play in the bowl game? You know, like, how do you feel about the situation? You sit down as a group. You just come out literally like 2 minutes later, you put a stupid tweet out saying, we're not going to play in the bowl games. Okay, come on. Seriously? That is worse than high school. That's worse than kindergarten. That's worse than preschool. So now you've robbed these players who've committed to your school and your program from playing the last game potentially of their careers. So now when all these players decide to either transfer or just stop playing football, are you going to get mad at them now? Notre Dame is going to have no choice but to join the conference. This is not a good look. And I'm not even thinking about them not playing. It's the players I'm concerned about. And then you got mad when players decide that they want to go somewhere else and get paid or just play somewhere else because the coaching staff and the administration actually wants to play football and not just look good and collect checks and collect TV deals. So Marcus Freeman, administrative group of Notre Dame, all the best. It ain't going to get better. It's only going to get worse. I'm out. Signing out. Peace.